you perhaps are feeling the way that we're feeling, right? So I wanted to start off with some thoughts, both from myself and Dr. Tachi, and I'm going to go with what I was charged with yesterday. I was charged with going to Ross to do, some quick errands by the hubs. Now, I am at this point primarily an online shopper. I got to be in a really good mood to get in my car and drive someplace. So when I do it, it's like boutiques, right? I'll do like a boutique, something like that. But other than that, I will shop online and call it a day. So I'm in Ross and I'm walking through and I'm looking at like the accessories, what have you, and the supposedly high fashion bags. There was Ted Baker London, Michael Kors, and Calvin Klein, and some others. And they all feel plastic. Like this clearly is not real leather. And so I go down a few more aisles, and it's just rows upon rows and racks upon racks of this pleather-like material. And it's just cheaply made. I'm gonna go ahead and call it cheaply made. And so I got thinking, is this where we are now? Is this what we're doing in the fashion world? So, Dr. Tachi, I'm gonna ask you, what have you seen in the market?
So this is very interesting because, as you know, I'm a reseller. And so I come across an awful lot of different things every day in terms of in fact, the reason I know most brands so well now is because of being a reseller and having to know the features of things, etc. Making sure, and this is why another reason I don't sell luxury, because I don't have enough know-how, in my opinion, to know what is real and what is not real, especially in this age of super fakes, where there are things that look just as good as the real thing. And I will admit I have some of that. But anyway, it's not about me tonight. I have really seen exactly what you're seeing. And this made me think, I was thinking about this as we were getting ready for this, the fact that there is this overproduction by fast fashion and fashion houses in general, because when we think overproduction and we think of a lot, and we think of where we see these places in discount stores, and like, for example, in the case of places like Anthropologie and Zara, they then, if they don't sell these in their factory stores, they will then donate them to places like the Salvation Army. I found a bunch of Anthropologie stuff in one place called Out of the Closet here in South Florida. So you'll see a lot of those things there. So it struck me that, okay, that makes sense. But I actually was looking at something today when it comes to luxury. They too overproduce. But what happens is you won't always see them down the line someplace, because rather than disrupt their brand or, quote, cheapen their brand, they will burn what is extra so that it is not out in the marketplace. So I've been seeing a lot of that. I too contend there's an supply and overabundance, but I think that it's also the fact that some of these things are manufactured specifically with next market in mind, not necessarily primary retail.
I agree with that. I also can't help but think the focus on brick and mortar has moved away to a certain extent, right? And there are a lot of people doing an online thing. Couple that with the original people no longer own their name. They no longer own the brand. They are no longer part of the story. And when that happens, there is a change. Now, there was, we were just talking a few weeks on another show about Black Hair Care, Carol's daughter, and things of that nature, how it's back with her, right? When it was sold, the people who bought it didn't have the same care, concern, and love for her customer or for the product. So they immediately go for some things that cheapen it, and it changes how it produces. People notice it and they stop buying. The same thing can be said for fashion and any other thing for that matter. It could be housewares. When you license a name, and I'm going to talk about DVF, Diane von Furstenberg, when she licensed her name to any and everybody, it cheapened her brand because what was being produced was whack. It was awful. It was just garbage. She had to work extremely hard to buy her name back, but then also to fix her reputation when it came to what she stood for and what buying a DVF wrap dress meant. We are there again. And we're there again, I believe, for two things. One is that fast fashion, that overproduction. There is this heavy consumption that we have. It is all coming to a head. I believe, though, we are on the brink of a shift. I believe we're on a brink of a shift. That's just how I'm feeling. Whenever there are economic struggles, consumers will shift. The pendulum always swings, right? When things are great, people are buying, they are living up life. Money knows no ends. It's just flowing. When trouble is on the horizon, people start tightening the wallet and they start getting creative with how they're shopping and what they're buying. We are in some different economic times. I don't know if y'all know it. Groceries are out of the wazoo, you know? And all of that makes a difference. It's not that you don't want to have something nice, but you know, you become a little extra picky. Now, I'm going to throw you a question, Dr. Tachi, because somewhere in there, we have these, and I hate to use the term, I'm going to use it. We have these influencers who also left an impact on this entire thing. What say you about that?
So I think that influencers, or quote unquote, the people that we call influencers or give that title, are very much responsible in this day and age for the regular schmegular individual over consuming. So, and I don't know, I heard another creator talk about it rather than saying over consuming, saying excessive consumption. Because I think that makes more sense. So it's both the same, but definitely there's this spirit of excessive consumption. And here's the thing: times we are tight with our wallets, but what do they always talk about that makes you feel better? Retail therapy. This is why you can get on. It doesn't matter if you're broke. Because if you look at the influencers are not always touting things that are worth thousands of dollars. So you may see them buying a new Louis Vuitton Speedy or buying, the latest whatever, latest luxury item from Bottega Veneta or whatever. But we also see these same influencers will team up with Temu, right? Or Temu. These same influencers have Amazon pages, right? These the Amazon accounts. They're Amazon influencers as well. And you could buy something for as little as 99 cents on Amazon, right? So it's this spirit of consumption. I watch them, so they're getting paid from me too. But I like to watch cleaning videos like Clean Talk, which is Clean TikTok, but I'm not on TikTok anymore. But everybody recycles their stuff everywhere. So I love to watch people organize and clean things. So, but what happens when you do that? You start to look and like, well, my space is not as clean as it should be. Let me go and buy these $5 organizers from Amazon. And it's even beyond Amazon. It's now gone to the dollar store because Dollar Tree, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you watch, there are racks of influencers who make Dollar Tree videos of like, this is what's new at the Dollar Tree. And here you are spending $100 on 125, 125, 125.
Let me just say, as a person who used to work at the Container Store, people would come in and they would show these pictures. I was like, look, you have exactly what you need for your pantry. You need to clean it. You need to clean your pantry. You don't need to buy nothing else because you can buy it. You're still not organized, but we're not going to talk about that today. Although we could, because I am still in my Swedish death cleaning era, right? So I am the buy one thing, 2 to 3 things have to go out. I am there. So we can definitely talk about it, but they're still shopping. They are still shopping and buying a whole bunch of stuff that's not necessarily needed per se, you know? If we're going to be honest about it.
Exactly.
So before I go on, hey, your Soror Joan is in the building.
Hey, Joni, how are you? Welcome.
Evening. So I'm walking around and I'm putting all these things together because, like I said, when you become, if you are a fashion person, if you're not a fashion student, if you're a fashion person, you start watching consumer behavior. When 9/11 happened, one of the things that happened for people to gain control was to organize their homes.
Yeah.
Did you not? Because you're looking for control of something. So we are going back into economic times, dire economic times. Hate to say it, it's coming. Get your beans and rice, people. I'm just gonna put it out there for you. We're going back to that. So you see people who are like, there have been many a video of some younger person specifically saying these influencers are not living a life that makes sense because I can't get a job and I can't afford this, and this is just, and so you get this whole deal of they're detached. They hear you're coming in with $5,000 worth of merchandise, and I'm just trying to figure out what's what, and you want to brag about it, right? So there is that. But that's the reason why things like, was it Shein? I don't know.
Shein.
Shein, thank you. Shein and other places stay popular because it can make you feel like you have $1 million. Like you get all this stuff for, I don't know what the average thing is, $30, something like that. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know because I don't shop. Through Shein.
Shein, they've got some inexpensive things, but things are a little bit more expensive as well. But continue, because I have something else.
So if we go back history-wise, when H&M came on the scene in the 2000s, and when H&M entered, they came into New York City on Fifth Avenue. Now, people were talking, Dr. Tachi.
They were.
They
were.
People were talking. All the pearls were clutched because how dare you bring this fast fashion place onto Fifth Avenue? That is sacred fashion ground. Sacred. You don't do such things. And I don't know if maybe that was a slight beginning of what was to come, because they were selling a lot of stuff and certain things you kind of think, does it really need to be as expensive as it is? Now, expensive all depends on your value system. I have been one who will pay a really good price for an amazing suit that I know will last me 10, 20 years. I got my money's worth. I don't like buying something and then 2 months later it's ripped and it's like, it doesn't work well for me. Does not work well.
No, absolutely. So go ahead. I know you were gonna.
So with that, with H&M came a whole bunch of others. Like I really didn't check when. I mean, I had 579 when I was in high school.
Oh yeah, and rave.
Rainbow has always been around.
Rainbow.
So we're not going to pretend that we haven't always had fast fashion, but it was different. The construction was different. Don't you believe it was different back then?
Oh, it totally was different, because why is some of that stuff still in my mother's house? Yeah, look. Here's the thing. Can I just add to this thing? When we talk about fast fashion and villainizing fast fashion, and I would love to hear what you all think about fast fashion too in the comments. When we're villainizing fast fashion, it's only fast if you don't wear it again. It's only fast if you don't make it last, which means that you have to make good choices if you're trying to be sustainable, even if it's fast fashion. Because let's not pretend also that people are like, oh, well, buy money and invest. Okay, well, sometimes you need that shirt to go to an interview now, and I don't have time to save up for that. So what you do is then, all right, you look at the materials. Okay, this is linen. This is 100% cotton for the most part. So you look up for those things and see, all right, this is going to last. What I have on now is from H&M, right? H&M, I have a lot of my clothes are from H&M, and some of them are from years back. But that's because I'm careful with the way I wash things. I dare I say, their quality, especially from years back, is not terrible. So you can make those things last. It's also in how you handle these things. Now, something that costs you whatever, that's another case. But fast fashion to me is only fast if you partake in it and you just throw it away. Make better choices when it comes to that as well.
Sweet. Let's do it before we bring up a comment. Teresa is here. So hello, Teresa.
Hey,
Or is it
Teresa.
Teresa? I need to make sure I get my pronunciations right. And Jazzy did say that Shein is affordable, but at a very big cost to our planet. So let's
Absolutely.
talk about that, shall we? Because that's our next deal. We want to talk about this fast fashion and how it's impacting us. And I'm going to go back to construction because, again, like you, I had some things from H&M that lasted for years. So I'm looking at what, like 2001?
Yes.
2001, 2000 is when I remember them coming on to Saks Fifth Avenue, pardon me.
Mhm.
And so it lasted for a long time. But if you look at construction now, and I mean across the board, I'm talking shoes, handbags, denim. I mean, yes, denim included, shirts. There has been a shift. There's clearly this place of greed, and I'm gonna call it greed, where the manufacturers, the people who may own the brand and license the name, they just want to get the name out there. They're not checking for quality control, and they're not checking for quality, period. So if you were to go and get, say, something from, I'm trying to think of a name brand. Oh, I'll use Nine West because I just researched them. If you had Nine West shoes from back in the day, it's a very good chance you'd go to your shoe doctor and have those shoes resold. But if you were to get that now, you may not have that option because they're not even constructed the same. There is clearly a place where we have gone to just get the money and we cut the corners on everything else, and the consumer is paying more for it. Like, we're not getting a better deal here.
Short end of the damn stick for real. If we were talking about this offline, and I don't know if you all have noticed this as well, but if you, for example, look at something that's luxury, Chanel is a great example of this. Even though Chanel has doubled in price and tripled in price, depending on when you're talking about it, the quality has gone down because there are more reports of people needing to return so that they can get this fixed or return it for something else because of construction. Because here's the thing, let's not act like luxury. The 1% is not enough to fund luxury. It's not, because after a point, the 1% is very small. After a point, they have everything and they don't always feel like they need to get every new thing, right? This is how they keep their money. It's us. It's the bottom half of the populace that keeps them in business as well. Well, this is why you find a lot of things that have the logos on them and they'll be like a price that's affordable. I remember years ago, Tiffany is known for their fine jewelry, but they're like, okay, how can we make more sales? So this is when their silver started to become popular. And because somebody wanted to say, oh, I have a Tiffany bracelet, they went and spent, in my opinion, way too much on 925 sterling silver, but that's what they could afford in Tiffany. So all of these luxury brands also have lower tiers that the public can also participate in. So in my opinion, it's the quantity of all of that that keeps them afloat and wanting to aspire to the next tier, so they'll save up for it more than the 1% just dropping a whole bunch of. There's not enough of them to keep all these luxury people in business.
No. Having been the student who also really enjoys retail, I remember Neiman Marcus, and I got a Neiman Marcus card. I had an Encircle card, which my dad said, you only need one credit card. I was like, Pops, but to get in the circle, you had to be in circle. You know what I mean? Oh. But Neiman's only took Carte Blanche, Diner's card, their own card, Amex. Or you could do cash. You could do a check. That was it. The moment Neiman's and Saks Fifth Avenue decided to start accepting Visa and MasterCard, I said, oh, this is it. This is the downfall. Because when you open up financing to everybody, you are going to get everybody in your store. Think about how many people had a Diner's card, or a Carte Blanche. Not a lot of folks had that. It was this small. So if you didn't have the Nemus card, you didn't have an Amex, you had to come out of your pocket. And a lot of folks are like, I'm not doing that. But you give people a MasterCard or Visa, which is typically accepted all over. The moment they did it, I said, and the luxury market is suffering. Because when you have to go to the masses, as you say, to make up the sales, and Americans are going to finance some things. God bless us.
Listen,
we gonna
if
finance
nobody uses credit, Americans use credit.
Nobody uses credit. America's gonna finance some things. That's how you live this American dream. You just finance it. You'll figure it out later. I'll figure it out later. Yes, when they did that for me was we're about to see something different. Now you are correct in saying that there are different tiers when it comes to fashion. You know, a lot of people, a lot of designers may start out on a certain tier, and then they say, well, how do I trickle down to this middle class, right? And then after that, there is same thing as the Gap, right? Gap had Banana Republic. Gap has Old Navy. Okay, so you've always had tiers because you have people at different price points. You're trying to cover the entire market. You may change the fabric in some places, how things are constructed, what's offered, but you're hitting all of the markets, right? In every single one. Exactly. Where we are now, though, is you can't tell the quality from this tier to that tier. It's just licensing coupled with flat out greed has just ruined, in my opinion, what fashion used to be, which is where I want to go with you. Okay. There has been this uptick in thrifting and looking for vintage. Before I let you answer, let me get a couple comments here. As Jazzy says, as you stated at the outset, quality over quantity. When I was younger, all my checks went to Rave. Yeah. It wasn't Rave, it was Express. It was, if you could go to like a Macy's, or at least for us here in the South, Foley's, you were like really chopping it up. It's like, whoo, I got some good stuff. When I could afford DKNY, which is her younger, just coming into fashion brand.
Yes.
I was like, sister is rocking it. Me and my DKNY, And then you realize, oh, wait, there's a whole other gold label and purple label. What?
Yes. Yeah. But you don't know. You don't know when you're young.
Or if you were Urban Outfitters, Anthropologie was your next step up.
And I loved Urban Outfitters.
And I'm not going to tell you how Anthropologie priced their stuff because something that is not talked about a lot is how expensive it is to be poor. When you can buy quality pieces, you don't have to keep going back.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's just stop right here because this is my thing. This is my thing right here. That's what I'm talking about. People look at in the moment, and I get in the moment. I believe everything has its reason. I do, however, as a person, both in fashion and housewares, I believe you save up your dollars. You put them down one time. You make one trip. Now, when I got fired in 1996, I took myself on down to Neiman Marcus. I bought myself. I did.
Was that your parting gift?
I had to get a new dress suit to do some interviews. It was $396. Okay. That was in 96. I gave up that dress. Hold up. 2016. 96, 2016, $400. Now y'all do the math on that.
Cost per wear.
All right, and I gave it up to a charity that collects workwear, dress wear for women to go back to work. So somebody's probably still living in that dress. Right? Now you have to do what's best for you in that moment. I understand that. But I also understand if you just save a few dollars to get the quality piece and not the facade of quality. I mean, real good suits and coats and boots. I mean, hey, I'm still rocking a dress from 2002. I mean, look,
Absolutely.
there's a couple of pieces that are still rocking from the from the 90s and the 2000s. Just saying. Just saying. Fast fashion thrives on consumers trying to keep up. We'll talk. Let me start that. We don't talk about that one. Hey, Plane is here. Hello, DS.
Hey.
Great to have you here. Yeah, you know, we have just been doing all the things here. She also says, listen, I used my emergency credit card to get some DKNY jeans because they were on sale.
Oh, you are fired, Jazzy. You are fired.
But I get it. Been there, done that, ma'am. Let me throw it to you, Dr. Tachi. So when it comes to quality over quantity, what has been your advice? Like, how have you kept yourself there?
So again, I'm about quality, and I'm kind of about quantity to a point. Like, I don't need a what is it called? Not Medicine Wife, Married to Medicine. The Toya, Medicine Wives. I call. She has like a 3-level closet in her house in Atlanta. Now, Atlanta is overly extra for no reason anyway, but I don't need that. But because of being on camera for so long, at this point, it's like now over 11 years, I've learned that I needed different things, at least different tops, right? Or tops that could be so neutral that I could pair them with other things and layer and they look different. So I'm about a little bit more quantity than some people may be, but I'm definitely about quality. So if I'm going to do that, if I need that amount, this is what I'm going to do. I still like H&M's quality for most things. Some things I'm like, well, not today, but some things are great. And so I will do that. Their linen in particular, I make sure I do that. And I'm a thrifter. So I will go to the thrift store and say, hey, what can I get that will, be great? So that's how I do it on quantity, but I'm also very much quality in that quantity. If that answers your question.
It does answer the question. And before I throw one more thing at you, we want to say good evening to Ms. Ali. She's giving her hellos to everyone. It says, oh, my wife loves your t-shirt, Dr. Tachi.
Oh, and it's an entire dress.
Isn't it always a dress? Isn't it
it's always a dress? One piece.
Always a dress.
One piece and you're ready.
Always a dress. So here is the deal. We talk about quality and quantity. So, and not that I am traumatized by my time having some home insecurity, but when I like something, I will buy the same thing 2 or 3 times over. So yes, it looks like the same pair of jeans. No, it's not. I just buy them over and over again because I know they fit and I don't have to fight with it. But there was, and I think I told before, there was this one pair of jeans. I love them so much. I had 6 patches on those jeans because I believe in patching. My brother,
though.
He said, gee, you can buy some new jeans. I was like, not like this though, not like this. So let me throw a question out there really quick for those who are watching, be it now or if you watch our replay. How many of you take your clothing to either a seamstress or a tailor to be fixed? Do you use patches? Or if you have shoes, you go to the shoe doctor? Because I have shoes that I love. And when things go wonky, I go to the shoe doctor. Right?
I do. But see, like you were saying, it has to be the right type of shoe. If it's Payless Shoe Source, that doesn't exist anymore, but just pretend. If it was like Payless Shoe Source or some 5 and dime shoes you got from the bottom of the rack at Ross and it's glued together, there's no need. Just buy another pair of shoes. But if you buy a good pair of shoes, you should be able to repair them over and over and over.
Yes.
Look, make sure that it's not just glued. Make sure that they're stitching as well, because you're not going to be able to repair cheap shoes.
Hence, there's a reason why we have it now where there is so much clothing and things in these landfills. Now, you mentioned thrifting.
Yes.
I've noticed, I know, okay, so for myself, now everybody got their something. right? My something is I love a good Dooney and Burke bag. Okay.
Yes.
Now, here's the quick story, people. Here's the quick story. I got my job, my first real job, and I couldn't afford D&B in high school. So when I got my real job, I went, I think Macy's or whatever, Foley's, and got myself a Dooney and Burke bag. Got deep into my fashion degree and started feeling Prada and Gucci and everybody else. And I left my roots. And when I went to resell that Prada bag, I couldn't get nickels for it. I was hot.
Listen,
It was
Prada is the worst
$195
offender.
at Neiman's. That much I know. I was heated. And I said, never again. So I went back to what will remain true, and that is good old leather. Good old leather. I got bags right now that are vintage, turning vintage, because it's good old leather. And recently, I have been hunting for vintage Dooney and Burke bags, like vintage all-weather leather bags. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yes. Listen, if you don't know, she is the Dooney and Burke queen.
I mean, if you look at, not that their construction has changed a lot. Back in the day, they were made in the US. And so there's some different things when it's made in the US. Like now you can get a good bag. Sometimes it's made in other places, right? I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's different. But the all-weather leather just had this timeless style, that equestrian style. It's just a really good bag. It's just a beautiful satchel. And the fact that some of these bags are old, we're talking from the 80s and the 90s, and they're still looking good. Come on now. So what's your thought before I ask you about this, about people who are returning to thrifting or thrifting being bigger and resellers? We do have Dr. Dale in the building. Hello, Dr. Dale. Serena is here as well.
Hello.
I think all the folks are. Yeah, I got a picture. I mean, I shared this picture. Look, the patches. I don't know. Okay, because maybe it's the timing of how we were raised. We had a sewing kit. I know you had that sewing kit in the Danish cookies.
That's right. To this day, does anybody know what those damn cookies taste like?
Yes, they were butter cookies. They were Danish butter cookies.
Danish butter cookies, but you opened it and all that was ever in there was sewing kit. So I think the cookies were a front for sewing kits.
You typically got them around the holidays, and then once you ate up all the cookies, it became the catch-all. So for a lot of us, it was the sewing kit. Okay. So in that sewing kit, we had, needle thread, button, safety pins, and patches. You iron on your patches. Again, a different time and era, but we're not going to throw away some good rip. Now, I get that for some, ripping is a fashion thing, but like this was like, in the crotch and the thigh. So I just put some patches on. just saying. When Obama became President, Michelle and I had the same dress from J. Crew. Oh, J. Crew. I forgot about J. Crew. Oh, she says she loves that lipstick, Dr. Thompson.
Thank you.
I used to go to Gap back in the day. The Gap is their fit model never fit me. So
Gap was always overly expensive to me. Yeah. Unless, first of all, I only shop in the back of stores, because to me that's where I felt that got the best deals. So I don't know. Their stuff was always like just like you said, the fit, but it was overly expensive in my eyes. Mm-hmm. So if I was going to spend that money, I would go to the back of Banana Republic when I used to shop there.
Now, I'm going to flag this one because we're about to talk about thrifting and reselling, and I want to talk about Goodwill.
Yeah.
And their foolishness. That foolishness. Serena says, I have mainly sneakers, so it's a no with a sneaker doctor unless they really know what they are doing. Hey, I shipped a pair of jeans to some jean doctors in New York City. Because I was like, I'm not giving up my jeans. Gwendolyn would much rather pay the money to get the repair versus buying a new pair. That's just me. I stopped buying heels. It's all about being comfortable for me now.
Listen, the same thing happened. I have, ever since I tore my ACL, I'm like, okay, God, is that you saying that I need to stop with this ridiculousness in the heels? So I feel you.
I love my heels. And I mean, there's a pair that I waited for. So the dress I bought from DVF in 2002, I had to wait 2 years to find the right shoe to go with it. They're a pair of Anne Kleins. I've had
Oh,
them resold twice already. They are still going. Cute little
wow.
heels. And they match it so perfectly. I refuse to let them go until they actually are. But that's again different time. You really can see the difference in construction and quality of work in the US. And I'm going to add it to our little ticker for about thrifting and reselling. As Ms. Ali says, I used to go to the shoe repair shoes until I stopped wearing shoes with heels and soles. Okay, well there you go. But I still have my mother's.
You don't wear shoes with soles?
You know she wears shoes
Please
with
explain that one, Miss Alice.
But the vintage Coach bags that don't have all of the decoration that clearly say I am Coach, those 1980s, 1990s Coach bags.
Oh, I'm a huge vintage Coach person, and Coach has made a resurgence. I'm sure you all have seen that for a while it was waning. But then they got some new designers at Coach, and not only did that invigorate sales for their new stuff, but people then started looking at vintage Coach. And vintage Coach is everything.
She said, my current style dress is legs and t-shirt. I need a stylist. That could be our second conversation because
that would be the second conversation.
So you be working them love the 50s. Like, thank you. Let me tell you, when my grandmother passed away, I went into her closet. She had such beautiful clothes, but she was smaller than me in terms of height, but then wider. So nothing. She had gorgeous blouses and everything. I mean, it was just amazing and didn't have it. Did you give away the pants? I threw them out. I did. I had to throw them away because it got kind of out of pocket. But my
could have had them made into something else.
Some jeans.
You could have had them made into something else.
I could have. So here's the deal. Let's go to you. I'm going to stop with this one and we'll go to you.
Okay.
We're talking about thrifting and reselling and the hunt for vintage. Here's my thought, looking at how things are made now, how the construction is garbage. I don't see half of what we have today. Nope, 3/4 of what's being produced today, even being around to be resold.
I'm still hoping they figure out a way to use this stuff to pave the roads, because some of it is going to be useless after a while. And what I've found in thrift is, whereas thrift used to be, well, for a couple of things, it used to be the place where people who could not afford to shop regular firsthand retail went, and you could still find some clothing, right? We grew up thrift shopping because we just loved it. And my mother was like, no, there's no need to buy new clothes if we could do this. So some was new, but we also thrifted. So that's where my love of thrift came from. But what I found is that now it has also in some ways become a dumping ground. So you can get some good finds if you are willing to look like I am and find some designer things or some things that are really nice. But then there are some things that clearly you got this at Ross, and people just dump it there. And it has the nerve to be Ross new with tags, okay? And people will just dump it there. So you're not always getting the quality that you could back in the day. So now, and if it's secondhand, you're talking about secondhand nonsense stuff, secondhand Shein stuff, secondhand Temu stuff. Come on now. Secondhand, remember the shoe stores, Shoe Dazzle and Just Fab were the shoe sites?
Girl, let me tell you. Okay. So speaking of Shoe Dazzle and all of them, we were really wearing the craziest platforms with the craziest heels. None of that was made to go past the season, though. Not one piece. Not one.
Wow. Hold on a minute. Indie Arts Creation says that, am I going in and out for you all? Do I sound okay?
I hear you okay.
Okay. It may be Indie Arts Creation. You just need to go out and come back in if you can't hear me. So
Yeah, I
let,
can
let
hear
me
you
know.
okay.
Yes, please go out and come back in.
So those shoes were again another sign of fast fashion, another sign of trying to make fashion, I guess you want to say, affordable for everyone. Now, when I was growing up,
Mhm.
and my mother and I had this chat this morning, mother was sewing our clothes. Mother
Hmm.
had a Singer sewing machine. Not
Mhm.
only did she sew our clothes, she did curtains, valances, she did she did all kinds of things for the Christmas tree, but she was putting out some fashion. Like we spent time at Cloth Worlds picking out patterns and fabric and notions. That was a Saturday.
Mm.
And if it was a good Saturday, she had it done for Sunday for church. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the mindset of you get something, you make it last. There was also the fire sale before we had outlets, at least in Houston. It's
Yes.
called the fire sale, where if
Yes.
people had like any kind of accident, then it would go there to, and it was also like your odds and ends. Some things did have a smoky flavor to them. Uh, you could try to wash it out, but there were also odds and ends where like one pants leg was slightly shorter than the other. And now you I tell you. But now you have real outlets where they're making things for the outlet versus it being a place to do closeouts, which is again changed the game. So I'm gonna ask you again, and I know you mentioned it. Seeing as how construction right now, garment construction, accessories is looking just flaky. They are not using top quality materials, even mid-tier materials for a lot of this stuff. So as a reseller, I know you said like you hope things are going to be available, but as a whole, what does that look like if there's nothing that's going to last?
So yeah, this is interesting. I don't know that a lot of resellers think beyond tomorrow
Okay.
when it comes, because that's not necessarily the job of a reseller.
Mm,
Your job is to find things that people connect with and like. Like I know the brands that sell really well for me, and those are the things that I will go after. But personally, I also do think about the fact that some of this stuff won't be around, to last. But at the same time, I try to do what I can as an individual now, as an individual and as a reseller, to save some things from landfills, and even worse, going to overseas, usually to African countries, to fill their landfills and to disrupt their textile markets.
mm,
And that's a whole other thing. I've done presentations on that, but that's a whole other thing. So one of the places I like to go is Salvation Army, the bin. No, no, not Salvation Army, the Goodwill bins. I'm not a huge fan of Goodwill itself, but their bins, they sell things so inexpensively by the pound that you can go there and get some things are new, but that's just like it didn't sell in the Goodwill, which means this is the last stop before
mm.
it's either landfilled or sent overseas. So I say, let me see what I can save out of this that I know people will buy that is still good. And you can find some good stuff. Now there's junk, now there's rubbish, but there's also some good stuff at the bins. So in terms of your question, that's what I try to do. I'm not necessarily always thinking about that, but
Yeah.
on a personal level, yes. And then I try to do what I can to save things from landfills.
Mm. Well, let's take some hellos. Let's go ahead and take some hellos. As you were saying, India Arts Creations is here. Shawana Kennedy is here as well. She also says those subscriptions kept me in trouble. Man, those shoe subscriptions,
But
look,
they were terrible shoes.
they
Shoe
were, but
dazzle,
they were
they
cute.
were
But they
high
were
and
cute in the
terrible.
moment.
Oh,
And
I
keep it
couldn't
okay. So
stand.
keep in mind that they were also, in my opinion, mimicking what Steve Madden was doing, who was mimicking a Louboutin, right?
Right.
The really thick sole. And yes, you can have an extremely high heel if your platform is at the right height. You don't feel it. I had some 5-inch heels that I was rocking in New York City, but it had a 3-inch platform. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was walking on pillows. I mean, a sister was strutting her stuff because it felt like, a 2-inch heel. It felt like nothing. But that's where that came from.
Yes.
It's not a knockoff per se, but I was part of those shoe subscriptions. Yes, I was. I was part of those shoe subscriptions.
But really quickly, here's the thing. Those subscriptions also kind of underhandedly taught women that these types of shoes are good for anything. I had to say to some of my students, I hope you have some other types of heels besides this, because you can't wear this to an interview. And they didn't know, because those types of things were trendy. So they were steady buying the huge platform things. And I'm like, oh God, you can't do that. I know this is South Florida, and I know this is how they dress here, and they really don't care. Like, you could turn on the news and you're like, did you go to Rainbow to buy that outfit? And they're fine with it. But I'm like, and I had to tell them, like, some of you are wanting to be on the news. The way they dress here, you can't do that in every market. So don't pay attention to the people on WSVN, the Sexy News, or any of these things. I need you to go and buy a pair of shoes that are not ridiculous platforms. Sorry, I just had to add that in.
Some real pumps. Ms. Elise says, I went to a thrift shop that had clothes from Shein. Okay, see, that shouldn't even. It's like, is that our future? Is that where we're headed?
Yes.
Is that where we're headed? It's like, seriously? Dr. Dale says, yes, my mother-in-law was a professional seamstress for American Airlines back in the day. She sewed a jumper that ripped for me last week. It's just like new.
I love it.
Let me tell you, there was nothing like a blocked heel with the platform. Yes. Look, we go in and out of fashion. We're going to talk about that too, about the changes in fashion, especially with economics and how that comes up. So let's go here really quick before we continue. Actually, stop. People are just coming in, Dr. Tachi. We should probably introduce ourselves again, just because.
Why not?
I'm gonna let you go first.
All right. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer. I'm also a journalist, and I work in fashion in two ends. I have a t-shirt line, and I am a reseller, and I just love fashion all the way around.
And Gwendolyn, GR Houston Jack, I am a creative in all the things, but also a fashion student. I mean, I did graduate. As a matter of fact, I was an adjunct professor at FIT. So let me not forget to add that in. But I'm a person who loves retail. We have studied fashion for a very long time. And even though I'm not in the industry at this moment, I never let go of my roots. I am still looking at women's wear daily and all the fashion shows. And that's how we rock, because once you're in it, you're in it. When you get behind the velvet rope, and you see how things are made, and you understand licensing, and you understand how to read that RN number on the clothing tag, yes, you can never go back to the way you were. You can never go back. So let's talk about Goodwill, shall we? You want to talk about Goodwill? Because they're about it right now. They are really about it.
Listen, do you mind? Here I go. So as I started to talk about with thrift, the original thing with thrift was that it was a place where people who did not have the money to shop retail all the time could get things secondhand, right? And depending on where you shop, because people generally will donate it to places close to them, to secondhand places close to them. So if you thrift, do so in an affluent neighborhood, because you will find some things. So you used to be able to do things like that. But what has happened is that Goodwill is supposed to have a mission. I don't know how close to the mission they are anymore, because when you have a CEO that makes between $700,000 and $1 million per year, is that to your mission? And not only that, so you're getting your labor for very cheap, because you're also employing people that have developmental disabilities, which was part of the mission. But you're allowed to pay cheaper. Oh, okay. Why is my phone ringing? You're allowed to pay cheaper or give a cheaper salary, right? In that case. And then the other thing that gets me is that you can walk into a Goodwill and things are so exorbitantly priced.
Hmm.
There is no reason that you should be spending above $20 for anything. Furniture, okay, I can kind of see, oh, all right, this is $40, fine. But some of these smaller items, like, why are they this expensive? And now you've gotten wise to the game that some things can bring you more money. So you have designer things in glass cases, and it's so expensive. And this is not new, it's used designer stuff. So I understand on one hand, there are people, they're trying to combat resellers sometimes,
Mhm.
and they'll do that. So they'll make it exorbitantly priced. But at the same time, they're trying to enrich themselves. And I'm like, how are you doing that off of free stuff? Stuff is donated to you, and half the time people are not even asking you for a receipt. They're like, no, just keep it. So you get your wares for free. The overhead with that is zero. So even if a reseller does come and buy a bunch of things, they're paying money for it. So you're still making money. So that's where my gripe is with places like Goodwill, that you've lost focus of your mission. You're making exorbitant money off of things that were given to you free, and there seems to be no recourse.
Look, we already know that I have a hard time going into a place thrifting. It's not where I thrive. Look, I worked at the Container Store. It was a well-organized store. The time that I worked at Anthropologie, the time that I worked there, whoo, Lord have mercy. I was like, how do I even operate like this? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how y'all don't have any kind of digital POS system. We're still using like printouts.
Yeah.
And that was in 2000. So it wasn't that long ago, people. It wasn't that long ago, but I'm not going to talk about them this evening. I'm not going to do it. I do want to bring up, and I see your question, D. Yes, I have you starred. I do see Miss Ali saying that Coach is going back to real leather. So here's my thought about the vintage part. And I'm going to use my own example, but also again, looking at people and behaviors. I say it again, when there are economic times that are rough, people go back to, I want something of quality, but it's got to last. So I'm going to spend the money, but it's got to last. This want for luxury. And in the US, having more stuff says, obviously, I have wealth. I see clutter and I see debt, but that's another podcast topic. We're not going to talk about that this evening.
Yes.
But you have so many people who were going for a Louis Vuitton, they were going for a Gucci, it was a Prada, and I've been there and done that. I was on front row Neiman Marcus fashion shows, y'all. Front row Donna Karan Neiman Marcus fashion shows. I would leave Neiman Marcus, get on the bus, and go back home, get up the next day to my part-time job. Okay. So I get it. It starts to become ridiculous though. But Coach is returning back to their roots. I want to say, because people have told them this thing that they were doing, like they tried some sort of vegan leather or something recently that got some mixed reviews. I'm not a Coach person. Okay. I've never been a Coach person. I've admired their designs from afar, but they had the soft leather that scuffed a lot, and I'm a klutz. I can't do scuffs. Hence, I have pebbled leather, because you can't see nothing on that. You know what I mean? You can't see nothing on it. So go ahead.
Well, I wanted to speak to that point. So they have, I don't know if they still have it, but they have a lower line called Coachtopia. And Coachtopia is like, I guess it was aimed at Gen Z, because, it was Gen Z who really got interested in the resurgence of Coach. So Coachtopia uses, here's the thing with leather. As long as it has a percentage of leather in it, you're allowed to call it leather.
Yeah.
So the leather that they used for Coachtopia was basically, you know how you have the shavings from the suede and the leather?
Yes.
They glued that. They glued that onto like the vinyl or what. So as long as it has a percentage of leather, you're allowed to call it leather. It's just not top grain leather or like it's not that. It's what do they call it? Genuine leather.
It's the particle board of leather. God
It's
bless
a
us.
particle
'Cause
board of leather.
it's shavings. It's shavings and pieces put together and
It's
pressed.
leather shavings. And if you
Right.
want a good, because we were talking about this earlier. I'm a YouTube junkie, and there is a YouTube channel called Tanner Leatherstein.
Yes.
And what he does is he cuts up luxury bags and grades the leather.
Yes.
Watch him if you want to know if your favorite bag is worth it.
See, when I was in high school, I took wood shop, but wood shop also had a place to do leather work. And I thought, once you are a person who sees sales, at one point I was selling leather keychains that I stamped and painted and whatnot.
Oh, I love it.
I've been selling stuff since I was a kid. I sold like paper sailboats when I was in elementary school. It's, girl, we've been doing stuff forever.
What? There's a market for everything. Wow.
Market for everything. But once you play with leather, and then once you get into the fashion rooms and you're looking at different kinds of leather, then it can make you a different shopper. It can, because once you see something, you cannot unsee it. I mean, you can choose to, but I'm just like, As Jazzy says, all of that, not to mention, they have so much clothing donated to them that Goodwill and Red Cross are currently burning clothes. I didn't know about the burning part. I didn't hear about that.
I didn't know about the burning.
Oh, wow.
Also, I know that they will either landfill or ship to other countries after it leaves the bins, but I didn't know about the burning.
No, I didn't know about the burning. I know, like I said, at one point I was giving them some stuff, and then I found a different charity that they come and pick up the things. And so I give them their things. But you're right. I don't get a receipt. It's just like, just take it. I just want it out of my house.
Yeah,
and someone else
exactly.
can have it, right? Like if I can't find a friend or family member who can use it, or church, then it goes there. So yeah. Colleen Costello, hello, good evening to you, says can't find any quality clothes for the money anymore, even at the so-called better, not luxury brands. The clothes don't last, aren't that well made, and just at the point missing. Oh, Lord and Taylor, girl. Oh, Lord and Taylor.
Lord and Taylor was good.
For those who are from Houston and in any place. So in the Galleria Mall, there were different sections. The first section was like really high end. So Neiman Marcus, Fendi, Louis, Versace, all the things. And you crossed over. On the other end was Lord and Taylor and Marshall Fields. And man, you go into Lord and Taylor, and whatever you bought, you knew it was top notch. Whatever it was top notch. It didn't matter. It was just, it could have been those Isotona gloves or any other
Isotona gloves. Wow.
any other branded glove by Lord and Taylor. Man, when I say that I have a love for retail, there is a love for retail. And I understand that we are living differently. We have changed how we operate, but we have also lost a little je ne sais quoi when it comes to fashion. Like it was a thing. It was a thing. And then now, nothing against doing anything online. I have nothing against that. But I go back to so many of these brands are now just licensed. The name is just licensed. They don't know who's doing what. And so because you don't have the people who were there originally, either the family sold it, they passed away, whatever it is, they lost it, whatever it is, that love for the quality of what they presented is missing. It's gone.
And it's private equity. has messed up a lot of brands because private equity is only concerned about return on investment, and they're beholden to the investors. So I don't care if you make it with one stitch every 5 inches. Let's just sell it.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just sell it. She also says, can't catch a trunk show or sample sale anymore or actual good. Okay, so with that, let's move over to DS's question really quick. With that, I'm going to go over and move to his question, and then we'll come back to some more comments here. DS says, I'm curious, how did living in New York influence your fashion, if at all? And that's for the both of you. Do you want to go first, Asatachi? You want me to go first? Because as a fashion kid, a fashion and FIT student, I am biased in so many ways. I mean, like,
so here is the thing. I think I was, obviously, when you live in New York, you are surrounded by a lot of different opportunities for things like the sample sales, the person on the street, and all of these, and it's not even just sample sales, it's also these bazaars that there are all these independent designers that come out, and you have the opportunity to purchase the most wonderful things. I'm still trying to get my hands on a Pierre Laborde bag. So you have the opportunity for the most wonderful things. But I think also, when you look at, this is just me, when you look at fashion, the everyday person fashion, the everyday person is not in New York, is not shopping at luxury places, is not doing, maybe the people that live in Manhattan that work in certain places, but you visit the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten, they're dressing regular, right? So and the fashion that you get influenced by is different. So case in point. So I grew up in upstate New York, and there were a lot of people from the city that came to the University of Buffalo, where I went undergrad. So they would come, and their style was very much influenced by, what, those shoes for the beauty supply? And all the New York girls had them. So that's what was fashion for them. Oh, wait a minute. Those the hats that they wear in Afghanistan, the wool hats, that was the thing for a moment. So then everybody started wearing that. So I think I was influenced by the everyday street fashion as well as high fashion. So high street and runway, I was influenced by from New York, but more so the people that I was able to encounter, that I saw what they wore. If I liked it, that's what I did. But I was always, because I was a thrift girly, I was also always a fashion girly, because some of these things you had to figure out how to make look nice, right? So my thing was, like, I would cut up jeans. We would paint on them. I loved men's clothing. Oak Tree was my store. I bought, so I would just size down so that it would fit me. But people would always say, your clothes are so great. I'm like, Oak Tree.
Oak Tree.
And I got influenced by some of the things I would see in New York. So.
Oh, okay. So for me, getting into New York, clearly it didn't take long for me to realize that my Texan Southern fashion probably wasn't the very best to be amongst all the people. Now, I started out at NYU, so they were pretty simple, right? But then you get into a fashion school and you're like, I need to step up a little bit, just a little bit. You can still wear whatever it is you want to wear, but you had to figure it out. Now, I did work at Anthropologie, and Anthropologie had a dress code that you either wear what they sell or something similar. Well, I'm not giving them my whole paycheck, because if you know Anthropologie prices, you know that they aren't the most affordable for a college kid. And we didn't get a big discount. Believe you me when I say Urban Outfitters. So I was at Daffy's, Strawberry, Filing's Basement. I was, when I would go look at Loehmann's. I love Century 21. So we did whatever we could. And as Colleen mentioned, the sample sale, when the sample sales hit right around Fashion Week, you could just walk the streets. and you would see people with their bags say, hey, what's that? And they're like, oh, this is so-and-so on so-and-so street. Like, okay, great. And you would just like walk from sample sale to sample sale. It was a thing. It was a thing. Now, I have a Bachelor of Science from FIT. I was not on the design side, okay? I'm on the marketing, selling side. However, we are all still influenced by the environment that we're in. I had a chance, if I shared before, to have my shoes read by Andre Leon Talley. I had a chance to sit down with Diane von Fosterberg. You don't get around those people and walk out the same way you walked in. It's not going to happen, Captain. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I understand that my fashion sense became all about Gwendolyn and being an individual. I don't follow a lot of trends. There are some. I may see something, but I'm also feeling, I'm looking at how I'm feeling. So right now, what I am feeling, if I could find it, and it's kind of hard, but I just want a really nice blouse and a really cute bow. You know what I'm talking about? Like I'm feeling the 70s. I want some nice stove pipe pants, trousers, high waist. I'm looking for that and a really good handbag, pair of gloves, and a hat, a fedora. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little wide brim. You know, that's where I am. Not, you know, I'm in my 50s era. Okay. And so I'm doing all the things right now. We stepping out. But New York has definitely influenced me. It definitely did. And it has a lasting influence. Once you get into the fashion world, I think you're kind of not, I believe you're always in it. It's kind of hard to get out of it. This is very much the devil wears Prada. Okay. It very much is. You know, when people think I'm just here and it's just a shade of blue, baby girl, that's not just a shade of blue.
It's cerulean.
Cerulean. I was on a fashion job just the other day and I was like, ooh, that's a beautiful car. Is that aubergine? And he was like, aubergine? I just saw purple. I said, no. That's not purple. That's aubergine.
Aubergine.
You know?
Similar to our background. Aubergine.
Aubergine. You do leave a little different. So when I look at my wardrobe, I look at what works best for me and my body in the time that I'm in. We're not going to do a lot of the trends, although some of them are beautiful. I mean, I will look at a trend like, wow, that's cute. I'm not going to do it though. It's not going to be Gwendolyn. I didn't done my trends. I was around for Kwame and the polka dots and the chiffon spandex dresses. I know some of y'all in the crowd had it. You had the chiffon sleeves and the spandex dress during the Club MTV era. Yeah, I've already done that. We ain't doing that again. I'm okay. I'm good. Gwendolyn's good. We don't have to go back down there. Go ahead.
I wanted to tell you because you're making, as you were reminding me of stores. So I lived in New York City for a little bit, but I also have family that lived in New York City. So they lived in the Bronx, like Gun Hill Roadside of the Bronx. So where did we go shopping? Fordham Road. So they always took us to go shopping on Fordham Road. We would shop at, I loved Conway because Conway, you could get the pink bags from Conway. You could get regular clothes, but you could also get pajamas. You could get curtains for your house. All those things there.
Pink?
It was a pink bag.
It was a pink bag, right?
Yeah, it was a pink bag. So I used it for everything. Yes.
Yes. Conway's, man, let me tell you, it's so disappointing that we have, and I'm going to use in this case the word lost. We have lost so many retail stores because brick and mortar has a place. It has a place. One, it provides competition. When you have all of your items coming from one place, one source, there's no competition. There's no variance. It's just lacking. Now, there are a lot of designers out there. There are a lot of independent designers. There are a lot of boutiques still doing their thing. That's where I am shopping now. I am going that way because what's in the masses is just not, I don't think it's worth the money. I shouldn't say I think. I don't believe it's worth the money. As Colleen says, the flip retail sites, too much headache. Now, are you talking like I was telling Dr. Tachi, there was Blue Fly back in the day, and then there was, I called it Oh Look, but Hot Look. It was under Nordstrom at some point. I used to get things from there. Do you remember them?
I don't.
HAUTELOOK. I
Hot
was like,
Look.
oh,
No, I
look.
don't
It's like, no, it's
remember.
Hot Look. It's like, but O is Haute Couture. I don't, that's French, but okay. If you want to say Hot Look, I guess. Yeah. Because I was like, but it's not pronounced that way. Oh,
It's not
well.
hot,
But
but
I bought,
okay, if you say so.
if you
If you
say
say
so,
so. You
I
like it,
bought
I
a
like it for
lot of
you.
stuff from them. Yes, Lord and Taylor had amazing deals. Oh my God. It was the best. Hey, Bryson is here.
Hey,
Hey, Bryson.
Bryson. What's up, Bryson?
In Indy
DMZ.
Arch Creation says, I miss Lord and Taylor, John Wanamaker's, straw bitches and God.
Oh,
Let me tell you,
wow.
for what it's worth, you know, I kind of feel like people of a certain generation got, in my opinion, at this moment, a good chunk of what was great. Because look at the technology. LPs. I'm gonna go ahead and skip 8 tracks, but LPs, cassettes, mini disc, and then your MP3 player, right? If you look at VHS or Betamax, Blu-rays, Laserdisc, DVDs, we have a chance to play with everything, right? When we would go to like, you know, the store to get school shopping, and we were doing school shopping, mother had the Sears catalog. And we would
Listen. Do you remember? So because we used to get the school stuff from, now I went to Catholic school, so we had uniform. But
okay.
shoes were where you could show your individuality, and the few days we could wear what we liked, like if we had a skating party. So we used to get our school shoes from Sears. Do you remember they had a Winnie the Pooh collection?
I don't remember Winnie the Pooh. I do remember this sort of shop and shop for Buster Browns. And it was like a
Ugly shoes,
spaceship
but
kind of
yes.
thing. You could look at like these planets and stuff and stick your head in and you can see the planets and stuff. I remember remember that.
Oh,
But I don't remember Winnie the Pooh collection. I don't remember that.
Wildcats from Buster Brown. Anyway, sorry.
But I do remember our mother ordering a lot of stuff out of the catalog. And my brother's got Toughskins jeans, like this green and gray. I don't, you know, the things we
Yes,
had
the Toughskins. The Toughskins. And then we had the Wrangler jeans,
Wranglers,
you know, for kids. Yes. And I thought
we couldn't afford Jordache. We couldn't afford that. Sometimes Gloria Vanderbilt, sometimes. But you would order it, or if you did go in the store, you put it on layaway. And then by the time school started, it was out of, you know, layaway. Some things may still be there, and you got like mid fall season. But we were able to explore so many things in a certain generation. And now I think about like my granddaughter and granddaughters and grandsons, and a lot of what they have is just like a lot of it's not going to be around. It's just like, do you have those memories of going to a mall or something or shopping out of the catalog? Everything is online. And no offense, that's not really an experience. I'm not going to lie about that. It's not.
It's not. And that's why, you know, at least for school shopping, it's like, try it. It's annoying. I know. Finding parking, going, I know. But to have that experience where make an afternoon of it, I think it's really cool to do that. You know, take them out. Do you remember the theme song for Jordache?
No. What?
You know I do.
I know you do.
You've got the look. I want to know better. You've got the look. That's all together working. Playing day or night. Jordache has the look that's right. The Jordache look, and it was all disco-y. I know
Oh
every theme
my
song
God.
to
You know
the
what? We don't
close
even
back
have
then.
jingles anymore. They don't even have jingles.
We don't. We
They don't have
don't.
jingles. They have taken to using somebody's song at this point. There are no jingles. There are no jingles. I could have sworn in Demolition Man, they talked about having a whole radio station of just jingles. We
Jingle.
ain't
They
even got the
did. They
radio.
did.
We don't even have the radio anymore. Oh my
He
goodness.
did. I mean, and that's why. Go ahead, keep going. But it just reminds me of when I used to shop at Whole Foods. It was one by the university I taught at 3 o'clock every day. They had television jingles play for an hour. So I would make it my business to go so that I could, even if I didn't need anything, let me act like I'm shopping because I just want to hear the jingle.
You can ask us right now. We can drop a couple of jingles on you. We most certainly could. Colleen says that's what real fashion is. You doing you, especially in New York City. Yes, it was all about being real. You have no idea. Well, obviously, you have an idea. It was definitely about being real. It has a place and provides a service. Yes, department stores, brick and mortar stores, period. We're not going to truly understand how important it is until, I don't want to say it's too late because there clearly are some stores here. And I get that with the rise of retail rent and what have you. People thought, I can't afford to have a physical store. I'm going to take it online because that's just more affordable, but there's no experience there. And humans need human connections.
We do.
They need human connection. So I want to, before I go into our last topic here, are you still in Texas? Are the stores still a factor there? I'm familiar. Yes, I am in Arlington. I'm in the DFW area. Here's the deal, though. I will drive to Houston before I drive to Dallas, and that is 4 hours away, 226 miles. Because yes, but the store is like the Galleria, it is still just as big and just as busy. Whereas here in the DFW area, they are so segmented. So segmented. It's just, I don't know what to say. Yes, Blue Fly. Yes. Blue Fly was the bomb. For those of you who know it, if you want to get into the fashion, but you couldn't get all the dollars together, that was your spot, was Blue Fly. And Poshmark and the Real, they are, no. Now, I just got onto Poshmark to sell, as Dr. Tachi knows. Just got on.
Welcome.
And when I see some of the prices, I'm like, I don't know how y'all selling some of this for that price. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm not going to sell any of my vintage DVF dresses for under $150. I'd be damned. We're not doing that. We're not doing it.
Well, see, that's another thing about some of these sites. So, of course, you've got things like Poshmark, you've got Depop. I don't think Mercari is really so much around anymore, but that was another one. You've got Whatnot, also Vinted. So there are lots of these reselling sites, and then there are some people that sell directly on YouTube and sell directly on Instagram and what's the other one? TikTok. So you've got that whole thing, but you've also got people that want deals. So if you come in there with something that is really worth some money, you always have those people that think it's garage sale day and they'll offer you $2 for it. So you just have to, forget those people.
Well, we're going to have to do that because we're not doing that. Let me do this. Let me flip to our next topic. Time is moving, and I'm going to get to all the comments. Believe you me, people, we're going to get to all the comments. We're going to talk about future thoughts. Now, why is there a sewing machine on the screen? Let me tell you why real quick, Dr. Tachi and peoples. Gwendolyn went hunting for a sewing machine this morning. Now, I have one, but it's like lightweight sewing machine. I'm looking for the heavy duty. I am believing that I have to return to sewing my own clothes. Not everything, maybe a thing or two. That's what I'm thinking, because I'm not liking some of the things out there. Like, again, I'm doing some smaller boutique people, some smaller, persons in terms of fashion shopping. But every now and then there is a want for something specific. And I remember my mother, she had no problem just whipping it up, just, and there we go. I have some of the cutest fashion. We have some of the cutest fashions. So I'm thinking I'm going to go back to my roots and I'm going to get me a sewing machine, because I can definitely do that again. And if you're checking people, check it. You have resellers, but if you look at DVF, Levi's, Dooney and Burke, they are all doing this pre-loved thing where they are putting what was returned or previously owned. They're putting on online to sell to their customer. Or if you have a DVF dress, you want to resell it, you go to their website to resell it because
they're
there's
trying to make money.
who appreciates what it is. Now, do they get a piece of the action? You know they do. Levi, same thing. So when you have the manufacturer getting into the resale game, you got to peep it. Like, check out what's happening. How do you take away some resellers? And how do you get supposedly the most bang for your buck if you don't go back to the people who are looking for what you are selling? Mm-hmm. It's a DVF collector. Why would I not get the most money there? You either get the money or you get a credit towards another DVF piece.
They're trying to keep you in that ecosystem. That's very smart.
Yes.
That's very smart of them. And they want a piece of that resale pie. So they want it's vertical integration. They want from the manufacturing all the way down to the reselling. They want that.
So let's do this. Dr. Tachi, what is your prediction for fall fashion? What do you believe we're going to see?
Ooh, that's okay. That's good. That's good. Predictions for fall fashion. Well, first of all, that's assuming that there is a fall, since we have all this global warming happening. So assuming there is a fall. So I think, let me talk about color story. First of all, you mentioned aubergine. I'm really thinking that that is going to be something big. Last year, the big thing was like the cranberry / burgundy / crimson. And I think we'll still see some of that, but I think that we'll also see so the aubergine, that plum, that purplish color story. I'm predicting that we'll see a lot of that, because we're already seeing, some things on the runway. I think that there is going to be a return to tailoring as well. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing that. So that's a return to tailoring. And we're already seeing it with people buying things that if it doesn't fit, okay, we're going to go and get it tailored. So you may be getting your sewing machine at the opportune time, because I think there is going to be a return to tailored pieces. That's just what I'm thinking. What about you?
My gut says, well, I know that the Pantone color of the year was that whack cloud, which was like so ridiculous.
Oh, hell.
It was so middle of the road, so beyond whack. I was like, Pantone, you lost it. You lost all of your cred.
But lazy whatever. At its best.
I believe that the American designers may go with a more universal, utilitarian, easy to wear fashion pieces that will last some time. Typically, when you have people, again, when we are in economic downturns, they go safe. They want to sell something, but they also know whatever it is, it needs to last for that consumer. So I'm seeing some more safe colors. I'm not seeing a lot of like out there, let's go for the gusto, because people don't feel great. And the one thing you don't want to do, at least with the American consumer, is to put on this opulent something when people are like, I can't even afford groceries. So I'm not hearing what you are saying right now. So I believe we may find a good chunk of people going safe, whereas on the European side, it's going to be probably 50-50. There are going to be people who are going to go all out. And then there may be some who are just going to go with, how do we take the one piece and make it into like a cajillion pieces? That's my prediction, because it's history, and if it repeats itself. Now there is a war going on, but it's not like some of the others that have happened. So I don't see us doing browns and things of that nature. I don't see that. But I don't see this sort of opulent, over the top. I don't see that, because that your consumer isn't feeling it. We were talking earlier that there are so many influencers who are doing these live closet sales. So luxury is not luxuriating. It's a word right now anymore. It's
Not
not. You
luxuriating.
go from you go from I want to collect every single bag to hey, I have all of these bags. I'm just shoring up my closet. I'm making space for new things. Okay, that's what you say. That's what you say. So when you have your people who influence you to buy stuff that you don't need, doing live closet sales of their accessories and other things, yeah. So I believe American designers will go safe this fall. We shall see, though. We shall see. Now, I do believe also with the tailoring, so we don't have a lot of fabric stores in the US anymore, right? Like Joann's is gone for the most part. I think Michael's did buy some of their locations, if I'm not mistaken. And I know Michael's.
Yes.
They introduced a new floor plan, but it's going to be slow rolling out to all their stores. So where do you get your fabric? Where are you getting your notions? Where are you getting things to do your own thing? You could go to the thrift store. Now, depending on what they have there, you can probably take something and just reimagine it. As you mentioned, me and my patchy jeans, I could have just reimagined it, but I wasn't thinking like that then, right? But at this point, I'm thinking if I can get something really good, you can just deconstruct it and reconstruct it. That's why I believe we may see an uptick in reimagining. It is, I'm going to thrift and reimagine it into something else because I don't have a fabric store, but I can get like a thread and needle and some buttons and whatever else. That's what I believe we might see some of.
And there are already lots of creators. If you look at Instagram, if you look at anybody that is a sewing creator, you're seeing a lot of upcycling when it comes to that and reimagining when it comes to those types of things. And the thing is, they're making it so that you can do it too. In the past, it's not something that the average person felt that they could do. But now they're showing you things, they're doing things step by step, and you feel like you're able to do it. There is one other thing that I wanted to add. So I think that this age also is encouraging us to get things that make us feel good. And I think we're going to see, it's already here, but things like cutesy bag charms, Monchichi, all these little things that, and I love bag charms and I love toys anyway. So I say, but I think because toys feel safe, they're nostalgic, they remind us of when we were little. So we're going to see an uptick, in my opinion, of people putting these things on their bags or wearing t-shirts with these types of things. The cosplay thing is huge. You saw, and it's even coming away because of social media. It's coming out of the typical forums that it would be in, and average people are starting to latch on to those types of things. So I think we'll see a lot more of those novelty types of t-shirts, items with novelty on it, and bag charm type things, because those things make us feel good.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's get some comments before we close it out. Strawbridges brought it to, yes, man, I don't think these kids will ever understand if their only department store experience is Walmart and Target.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, back in the day, you went to the department store and you did some shopping, and then you went to a cafeteria style spot and you sat down and you ate. And then you went home.
Yes. And do you remember as you were going up the escalator, you would hear the bing, bing, yes, I loved that sound for some reason.
And department stores had restaurants because my grandmother, I didn't know it then, but my grandmother, if we did go out to eat, it had to be at Neiman's because she could put on her credit card.
Oh, so, yeah. Was the food good at Neiman's?
I was a kid. I don't remember exactly what we ate, but I do remember that if we asked to go out, it was like, well, it's got to be here because she just charged it. That much I remember. And then you're like, wait a minute, couldn't we just go to so you pick up on things as you get older, you recognize what's actually happening. Department stores had places to eat. It was an entire experience. an entire experience. And now it's, I get it. There are some eateries in some of these spots. I get it, but it's not the same. It really isn't the same. And look how
Mm.
everyone is buying records again. Yes, people want to own things again. We did talk about some other show that this subscription base, download everything, this rent to enjoy model, it is coming to a head. It's not going to last. People are going to start going back to, I want to own something and you can't stop me. So if you want to jump into the resale game as a manufacturer, as a vendor, then your customer's going to be like, you know what? I'll just go here and do something else. They will pivot. I mean, that's the whole thing, is it not? As a reseller, Dr. Tachi, is to pivot.
Absolutely. You're going to have to. You have to go where the seller or what the consumer wants.
Did you say Finger Hut? I'm not gonna lie. Wow. I got my first sharp stereo from Finger Hut.
Really?
With a crazy high interest rate. I didn't know any better.
Wow. We never used Finger Hut. I've never used it.
Mother says you didn't go. I didn't go where, Mother? Please tell me where we didn't go. Please enlighten me. Yes, Buster Brown was wearing our good walking shoes. Winnie the Pooh from Sears.
Yes.
It's like, you got to visit. You did get to visit your layaways. Eventually, you did get it. Eventually, we did. I think we got school shoes there. Dr. Tachi knows her tunes. Says you better sing. There is clearly some tunes in Dr. Tachi's head. They're there. And yes, Houston is better than Dallas. We're not going to lie about that. I'm not going to lie about that. It's not meant for discount, really, just less than full price, but not really that much less. Yes. Hey, Ron Foster is here. Good evening. Okay, yes. Okay, so I can sew. In order for me to get my fashion merchandising degree, as well as get my home products degree, I had to take a fabric science class and a garment construction class. And I also had to do sketching, fashion sketching. So I got a B in fashion sketching. I got a C in garment construction only because I chose a cotton piqué. Now, if you know about cotton piqué, it is hard to iron and stay nice and crisp. Okay? It's awful. I should have picked a different fabric.
Clearly, that still bothers you.
It still bothers
me. You're still traumatized.
It still bothers. I was using that commercial sewing machine in the workroom, and I couldn't finish it. So I got home and asked my mother to help me finish sewing my my suit. It was a black cotton piqué blazer with an orange cotton piqué skirt. Yes, Halloween colors. It was different times then. But yeah, Gwendolyn can sew.
Wow.
I can sew. I can read the patterns. I am there. Like I said, I have a sewing machine. I'm looking for a heavy dutier one. I already have some fabric. I have like this faux leather in my closet right now that I'm thinking of skirt.
Ooh.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of skirt.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Listen, so you were talking about fashion illustration. Let me just show you real quick.
Oh,
I don't know if
is that you?
Yeah.
What?
Yes. Yeah, I draw and I paint and all of that. So I've been like every day I take some time to draw because I want to keep my skills up.
Yes.
So I saw on YouTube there are a couple of fashion people. So I'm like, all right, let me do some draw along fashion illustration. So yes.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
when people think about fashion illustration, sketching, it's a task. It is a task.
It is.
I mean, I passed my class. I had Professor Ken as my professor, but man, you talk about pushing all of my brain cells. I'm like, dude, I'm on the science side. But to make you a well-rounded fashion individual, you had to be on both sides. So you had to be in the trenches to understand construction. I can tell you about some construction, hands down. And then you also get your science side. I also got a C in packaging. But I can build a box. I was not that creative, but I got my degree though. So yeah. Indie Art says
Wow.
the new generation is way different. When I take my glam children for shoes, I go to a department store and get their feet sized. Their mom goes and sizes their feet by holding shoes up to what? Really? Nothing like putting your foot on that cold shoe sizer thing. You remember
Yeah.
that? That was a whole
They don't
experience
use
by
that
itself.
anymore?
I mean, I guess they don't. I guess they don't. Because that was the thing. It was like, first of all, it was freaking cold. Like freezing cold. It was metal. But you put your
Yes.
foot on there and they size your foot. You're like, you're a size so-and-so. I was like, okay, great. That's interesting that they just hold that is different. Brands are doing it now. Yes, they are. They are doing it themselves now. Jordache and Gloria Vanderbilt. Yes. More Japanese fashion going mainstream. Oh.
I like that Japanese fashion, but it is utilitarian and it tends to be very dark sometimes, unless you're talking about Harajuku.
Mm. Colleen says the big houses, places that most wouldn't go shop at, but where colors and ideas would find their way into retail pieces. Those houses, some of them are truly lost. I agree. It's just,
I agree.
I don't know how we are going to get back to. I mean, it's like you hate to romanticize the past, right? Like I hate to do that, but I cannot help but also recognize that just the interaction and just the experience itself has had a lasting impact on us. When we looked at the catalog, you can talk to any person of a certain era and you could talk about getting the Sears catalog and making a Christmas list. Everybody understands that. Everybody gets
Or
it.
for the sneakerheads looking at the East Bay
Right.
catalog.
The East Bay. The East Bay catalog. Ooh, Dr. Tachi. You talk about some sneaks. Yes.
They had some sneakers in there.
Ooh, they had some sneaks. And now it's just, it's on the tablet. It's like that's not the
It's not the same.
It is not the same.
Circling
Who's
it.
my haute couture? Hardly anyone, but it was always like watching an art show. Lately, it's been sad, dull for the most part. There's a lack of inspiration across the board. It's almost like you have some of your fashion houses looking at the fast fashion people to get inspiration, and there's none there.
But again, I'm telling you, it's also private equity. We have to make what is going to sell.
Right.
If it doesn't sell, we're not going to make any money. So private equity has really changed creativity in fashion.
Right. And there is a lot. If you, I watched the video last night and I hadn't realized some of my favorite brands like Judith Lieber had been bought out by a very popular private equity firm. When you go down the rabbit hole to find out who owns what, you're kind of like, now, prime example, Sephora. Everything in Sephora is licensed by LVMH.
Okay? Yeah, because LVMH owns Sephora.
Because LVMH owns Sephora. So that's just that. So that, but when you go to some of these other places, these other brands, and you start digging into who owns it, you're like, well, that explains why it's just like nothing now. I mean, just saying, I walked through Kohl's to grab something and I was like, people are buying these things? People are actually buying this stuff? Like, what?
I've never been in Kohl's.
Piqué is a difficult fabric. I don't know why I picked it. It was cute. At the time, it was cute. At the time, I thought it was amazing. And then now it was in the fashion show. Okay. It wasn't a fashion show. Wait a minute. You were a Sears model back in the day. Jazzy.
What? Wow. You've got to it didn't happen if you don't drop the photo.
I want to see a photo.
I want to see a photo.
A Sears
was your hand on your hips like this and you were smiling? I need to see the photo.
And we needed socks to get our shoes. Yes, you needed your socks on to get your foot measured. I'm just really shocked that they're not doing, but check it. I was talking with my sister-in-law and she didn't know about the shoe doctor. Because she's like, well, I got these shoes. I was like, take to the shoe doctor. She's a shoe doctor. I was like, yeah, they fixed your shoe. They just resoled it, fix your heels, fix your leather if need be. She's like, I never heard of that. I was like, What? And then I thought, if we don't have people teaching new people, who's going to be our cobbler? Who's going to fix our shoes? Who's going to fix, our jeans and do tailoring and like, hem up your wedding dress? Like, who's going to do that for us if we don't have these skills around, these skills?
In America, it's not a thing. In America, it's not a thing, but in other countries, it is. So in Asia, they're all about the cobbling. Is that the word? The shoe lasting?
I know it's a cobbler.
Cobbler, right. They're also about tailoring. They're also about fixing what you have, because the simple thing is you may not have it to buy other things. So tailoring and fixing shoes came out of necessity. If you live in a society where you can buy a pair of shoes for $2, then there's no need for you to do that. So hence why she may not have known.
Well, sometimes I feel like my dad. Now, my dad went too far sometimes. I remember him having like this gray duct tape around one of his shoes when he was mowing the lawn. I get it. It's an outdoor shoe, but I'm like, you got tape around the shoe to keep it together? Pops. Seriously? Yeah. So I get my patches honestly, okay? I get it. I get it honestly. Colleen says, yes, you're right. Big money and profit-seeking dividends, that is. Profit always matters. It's forcing them to forget about originality, style, culture, just the biggest bang for the buck. Yeah. Oh, as a kid, well, you should still have some photos, Jazzy.
Yes.
You should still have some photos.
We didn't think that you modeled last week for Sears. We assumed it was when you were a child.
It's a very good chance other countries will be okay. Americans are going to struggle because, as Ron says, clothes in Americas are disposable. Well, not in this household. Now, I haven't taken to sewing the holes in my socks. I just get rid of them. But I'm going to patch everything else. And like I said, I got my sewing machine. I'm going to get me a new sewing machine. And you may see some G fashions very soon.
I love it.
A G original. Which real talk,
I love it.
Is a very good chance, as you mentioned, as these vendors and manufacturers go into their own reselling, you may see people saying, I'm just going to take this and reimagine it and then sell it because, hey,
I would.
What can I tell you? He said chief ashes. I'm trying to tell you, I'm gonna have a little something. I need to get a dress form though, because I can't use the husband to help me pin anything.
Well, see, look on Poshmark. Sometimes people have dress forms, and then because dress forms are expensive.
Dress forms are expensive.
You can often find them in places. Look for places that are going out of business and that type of thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to. I just hate that when I kept a hold of my professional sewing kit. I had the beeswax and everything for the longest time. And then I thought, I can't take all this to New York City. I'm not taking anything this with me. So, I left it and then, I just let it go. I'll let it go. I can also knit too. I can knit. Gwendolyn can knit. I can sew. I have some skills.
Crocheting is my thing.
That's your thing. And I have a cassette player. So there.
I have one in my car.
Can I sew some leggings? When it comes
leggings are like
shirts are easy. Pants have always been the weird thing because it's the crotch. If you don't get the crotch right, everything goes wrong.
And I hate to see somebody with drop crotch. That is just ugly, unless it's intended to be drop crotch. But I've seen some pants. I'm like, who made these?
Right? Like if you don't get it right, and when some people do some designing of women's pantwear and trousers, they use a men's body. It's like we ain't the same, kid. We are not the same. Okay, there's a men's bike and a women's bike for a reason. As Ron says, in Nigeria, young men walk with their sewing machines. Okay.
Huh, yeah. Listen, I have a bunch of clothes made in Nigeria. I've never bought anything in Nigeria. Every time I go, it's to get clothes made, and the tailors are bar none.
Well, Dr. Chachi, we have had a great conversation.
Oh,
We
this
truly
was
have.
enjoyable.
We want to thank you guys for coming through and sharing your thoughts with us. Would love to hear more for anyone who's watching in the replay. If you have thoughts about today's fashion and where we're headed, is it worth purchasing? Are we done buying stuff? I'm not gonna lie. I just found like 3 vintage Junie and Burke bags.
Here we go.
I just found them. If you're around on Saturday, you may see a couple of them. I'm just saying. I mean, the all-weather leather from the 90s and the 80s, man, they don't make them like that no more. They don't make them like that no more. So I had to pick it up.
No, it's like I have a 3 Brahmin bags, and 2 of them are newer, so they're great. They're beautiful, lovely leather. But I found a vintage one on Poshmark the other day, and I'm like, they used to make them like that. I mean, just the construction and just beautiful. It's like from the 90s. I love it.
It's different. So I am in my vintage area. I'm vintage D&B. That's what I'm looking for right now. As I bring in some vintage D&B, I am selling some of the newer D&B because I'm okay with getting rid of those. I'm okay with it. I'm like, look, this leather right here that's been around since like 1984. Yes. Say less. That's all I can say about that. So that's where Gwendolyn's rocking. And like I said, if I get a really nice suit, I need a really nice suit made, like a 3-piece suit. You know what I'm saying? That's going to cost me though, right? You got to get tailored and things. That's on the wish list. It's on the wish list. But I want that and a nice little tie, little pocket square. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You need to visit Vietnam.
That's what my husband said. He said we need to go overseas and get sized up and come back like 3
Thailand
suits.
and Vietnam.
Yeah. I was like, put it on the list. So here's the deal. We will be back in like September to talk about all the fashion shows. We'll see if our predictions came true. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who knows? There may be some other off conversation. Who knows? We just want to get this started. Dr. Tachi, any parting words for the people?
Yes, thank you so much for coming and watching and hanging out with us. And, fashion is what you make it. If you like it, I like it for you.
That's a great one. Me, I am going to say that just think about how what you buy impacts the environment. I am really working on making the most of what I have, and I'm going to put out the picture of me and my 6 patches. Wasn't that a song too? Patches. Who was that song by? Patches. I don't want to sing it now.
There's a song called Patches?
There's a song called Patches. Yes, I know y'all know the song called Patches.
I don't.
Yes.
And I'm glad I don't.
Yeah, no, yes. And the singer just passed away like maybe 5 or 6 months ago.
It's a new song?
No, girl, we're talking like for the 70s. This is an old song.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like a rapper made a song called Patches.
There is a song called Patches. Now, I got some songs in my head. Sometimes the singer's name is in there. Yes, I'm dependent on you. Thank you, Chris. I'm dependent on you, son. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Patches. Yes.
That must be some Texas stuff. I've never heard of a song.
I'm gonna find it on YouTube. I'm gonna find it on YouTube. I'm gonna send it your way. Yes, Patches.
Okay.
Kind of talks through it, and then he starts singing the whole. Thank you, Clarence Carter. Clarence Carter. See, you have jingles. I have songs in my head to go with words.
Clearly.
With that, we're going to let you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for coming through. Stay tuned for our next conversation and have a good rest of the week.